and we're back. Chapter 2. I guess chapter 2 could be called the Psalms 91 chapter. Or you could call it like Vatos, Cholos, you call us what you will. So this is just going to be my stories with essays throughout my life. Now, I have no problems with essays or cholos or vatos or whatever you want to call them. I got some in my family, and I was cool with some of them in school. But this is just the main story is gonna be me and my friend Jamal, um, almost getting jumped by 27 essays in Denny's in Fontana. This is like 2000 or something like that. But so here's the history of my. I'll give you the short story of my life with essays. So typical ghetto story: teenage mom, grew up single mom, no dad, grew up on welfare, lived with my grandmother for the first 9 years of my life in East LA. And then I just, when I was a kid, when I was like 7, 8 years old, I remember I used to hang out with these 5 dudes that used to like sell weed and stuff across the street. I used to hang out with these. It was like they were like 16 and 25 between those ages, and they used to let me like hang out with them. And I remember like back in those days in the 80s, like people used to go cruising with like the mini trucks. So I used to hang out with them, and I used to come home like at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning at 8 years old. It's crazy. Like, especially now when I think about like my friends, kids that I've seen grow up, but like when they were 8 years old, there's no way in the world I could picture these dudes being out till 2 o'clock in the morning. But like, my mom's wasn't really checking for me back then. So I just used to be able to just do stuff like that. But, I mean, at the time it was fun. Probably wasn't the best thing for me to do, but it was fun. And so they were just some cool cats. And then I remember like when I was like 7 years old, me and my cousin Danny was going to the swimming pool at Roosevelt High School in East LA. And then this big old essay dude with like the sunglasses, the Lokes on, and he had the high socks with the khaki shorts with the Nike Cortez. That guy was like, "Hey, Holmes, give me your money." And I had like $1 in my hand. And so I was like, "Man, I ain't got no money. I got the dollar in my hand." And he's like, he pulls out a gun and he's like, "Hey, Holmes, give me your money." I was like, I ain't got no money. And then my cousin Danny's like, "Give him the money." I was like, "I don't got no money." Then he put the gun to my head and he was like, "I said, give me the money." I was like, "Here you go." And so he's walking away from us, and then he turns around and he's like, he says, "Hey, Holmes, meet me back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock and I'll give you your money back, eh?" I was like, okay. So I got robbed for $1 when I was 7 years old at gunpoint. It's crazy. And then let me see. Andy and Mauricio when I was in the 9th grade. I used to go to Mark Keppel in Alhambra. And we used to play pool at the Boys and Girls Club with these 2 essays named Andy and Mauricio. They were like our age. They were like 14. And so me and Thomas used to play pool with them. We used to hang out with them. Not really hang out with them. We would just talk to them when we were at the Boys and Girls Club. And so, anyhow, there was like this big old party that was going to happen in San Gabriel, which was their rival gang city. And so we're supposed to go to the party. And so this is like Psalms 91, like the Lord's protection, right? So me and Thomas got in trouble because we ditched school. And then Thomas got grounded. And then I didn't really get grounded because, again, my mom wasn't really checking for me back then. So, but thank God Thomas got grounded. Thank God he got grounded. So Thomas is like, "Yo, man, I can't go to the party." I was like, "Come on." So then I talked to Andy and Mauricio, and they're like, "You coming?" I was like, "Well, if Thomas ain't going, I'm not going." Because wherever Thomas went, I went. Wherever I went, Thomas went. That's my dog. Still my dog to this day. What's up, dog? And so, yeah. So anyhow, we didn't go to the party. They went to the party. And then when we went to school on Monday, everybody's crying and stuff. They announced that like they had got murdered. So on the way home, at least that's the story I heard. Don't know how true it is, but 2 carloads or 3 carloads of their rival gang members rode up on them when they were walking home and shot them and cut off their fingers because they were throwing the signs up, I guess, whatever they were doing. And then like they, from what I understand, I don't know if it's true, they cut out their eyes. And so they died that day at 14. And me and Thomas lived because he got grounded. Praise the Lord that he got grounded. I mean, I don't know if we would have died, but I don't want to find out. But anyhow, just those, I've been in so many of those scenarios. I remember I ditched school with this essay named Johnny and 2 other essays that I didn't know. And so we're walking and we're walking to Circle K. I ditched 5th period to go to Circle K. And so then we're walking to Circle K. And then as we're walking, these Asian gang members roll up. And the gang that they were from, and the Asian gang, I think is called Waching or something like that, they roll up. They hate each other. And so they turn the corner, and then the gang members like, hey, Holmes, Waching. And so the 3 gang members scatter. And then I run down this alleyway. And who do these Wachingers come after? They come after me. So they driving, they try to run me over. I jump. It's like a movie. I jump out the way, jump into the backyard, go through 2 backyards, go out the front. And when I go out the front, they right there in the car waiting for me. And so I'm just walking. I'm walking like this with my head, like if they don't see me. And then one of them is like, hey. And I look at him, and this dude got his whole body out the car with a gun, a big gun. And then he clicks the thing back on the gun, and then he pulls the trigger. The gun doesn't go off. And I went like this. And then I look, and then he's like messing with the gun. And I just like Wile E. Coyote, like I took off. I went back to school and I was like, yo, I almost died. And so that's just been like, oh man, when the Chicago Bulls won the championship, when the Bulls won the championship in 91 against the Lakers, I went across the street in Chino to go to this Chino Mart grocery store across the street from my apartment complex. And I didn't have, like, back then I had hair. This was when I was like 14. So I had it was all over this place. And so then, so I didn't have this. And so I was crossing the street, and this carload of essays, wham, goes into the parking lot, tries to run me over for no reason. I didn't do anything to these guys. So they try to run me over. I jump out the way, and they open up the doors, and they start chasing me. And I ran into the store, and I hid from the dude. I went to the back stock room, and I stood in there for like 15 minutes, and they didn't find me. But for no reason, these guys just chased me for no reason. I never met these dudes a day in my life. So these essays have been all over my life. Wait till you guys hear the jail story. It's crazy. This whole Southsider thing. Bananas. That's going to be like a 10-part story, though, because it's like 2 hours long. It's like a real movie. Anyhow, me and Jamal go to the Club Metro in Rubidoux. After the club, I had just got out of work, so I'm like in a shirt and tie. And so Jamal, at the time, he has locks up to his waist. And so like big, thick locks in his hair. And so we go to Denny's because his baby mom works at Denny's. And so when we walk into Denny's, there's just like 27 essays there. And so we get into the counter, and then one of the essays grabs his locks. He grabs one of his locks. And then Jamal turns around like, yo, what's up, man? And he was like, hey, Holmes, nice hair, eh? And then he's like, you can go. And Jamal was like, what? What'd you say to me? And then his baby mom's like, come on, stop it, Jamal, let's go. And so we go to go sit down to go eat at the counter, and then they get seated on the other side of the restaurant. There's really 27 of these dudes. I counted. And so they're sitting down. And so then 3 of them start walking towards us. And then Jamal stands up and he's like, "What's up, man? What's up, Pop? What's up, G?" You're like, "What's up?" And they're like, "We're looking for the restroom, Holmes." And then he's like, "The restrooms are over there, dog. What's up, dog?" And they're like, "What's up? You want to throw some chingazos?" So Jamal's like, no, the dudes are like, "Let's go outside, Holmes. Let's go outside." And Jamal's like, "You ain't gonna fight me one-on-one." Of course they ain't gonna fight him one-on-one. So I'm just thinking in my head, like, we about to get our AWS's beat. This is about to be really bad. And so we going outside. Like, me and Jamal go outside, and him and the dude go to the center of the parking lot. They're yelling at each other. His baby mom's in between them. And I'm praying under my breath as I'm going outside, like, "Lord, please protect us." And so I go outside and I'm standing like this, and I'm thinking like, yo, it's about to go down. And so then, this is where God showed up. So then the essay start running at me like head on. And then when they get to about like 5 feet from me, they just go, psh, 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 psh. And I'm standing there like, what in the world is going on? And so none of them come and attack me. And so anyhow, I see Jamal like run, and then the SA dude is chasing him, and he goes across the street where Kaiser is. There's a hospital across the street in Fontana. And so then the SA dude chases him across the street, and then Jamal turns around and he's like, "What's up now, partner?" And then the dude turns around. He sees that none of his friends followed him. So he gets scared and runs back across the street. So I just jump in my car. Boom, put it in gear. I drive across the parking lot, go pick up Jamal. He jumps in the car, and we just start laughing like, "Bruh, can you believe that just happened?" Like, we didn't get jumped. That was crazy. So we made it home safe. Didn't get to eat no Denny's, but his baby mom's bought us some Denny's afterwards anyway. And so that's the end of that story. I got so many more like stories like that, but that's just one that stands out. Anyhow, I think I'm gonna tell the heart attack story next, or I could tell the time when my friend DeBoris's girlfriend freestyled a song at a funeral I was officiating. Like they told her, she said she was gonna sing, and she just made up a song on the spot. And I could tell the story about how I met my dad after I had the heart attack, took a DNA test and the whole 9. All that is true stories. Anyhow, we'll see what happens. I'll let somebody else pick. Somebody pick this story. I'll probably let somebody else pick. So if you want to pick, leave it in the comments. So anyhow, hopefully you enjoyed it. All right. Peace.